Let's go.
Let's do it, Jim.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod. What's up, everybody? This is the Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris. We got Ryan from Miami. We'll go with you first.
Yeah. Is that because you feel bad because my quarterback's no longer available? But
I
my
do not feel
undefeated
bad for
UCF
you.
Knights are
And
3-0.
Haley the Bear. I'm just going to talk over you when you start doing exposition.
We can mute him. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. What do you mean? And producer Josh.
We're here. It's Monday morning.
We're here.
We're doing it.
It is a Monday. Does everybody feel tired today for some
Yeah.
reason?
Yeah.
I had
It's like a Monday
very,
that feels like a
very
Tuesday that feels like a
long
Wednesday.
weekend. It was great. It was amazing. I've got a lot to talk about as far as music goes and the shows and how awesome everybody was. But Ryan, the poll.
Yep, I got the poll ready, and we are. What's the correct order when you brush your teeth? And overwhelmingly, the people have spoken, and they think Maddie is weird. 70.9%. 70.9% say you wet your toothbrush before you put the toothpaste
Yep.
on.
Yeah, Maddie.
Yeah.
That's right, Saints fan.
Yeah.
Get
He was
out of here
texting
with
me
how you
yesterday.
brush your teeth.
She was texting me yesterday, and she said, I cannot wait to tune into the podcast this week.
Oh, I bet she can't. And she's going to get absolutely nothing from me when we get to that portion. You know what? Let's just go ahead and start there. Let's go to sports. NFL. There's nothing to say about the Cowboys, but they just had a terrible game.
Or the Saints are good.
No, I don't deny the Saints are good. I never said the Saints weren't good. The Cowboys should have won that game. And I love that people were just like breaking it down going, oh my God, the offense, like they kept kicking field goals. I was like, did you watch any Cowboy games in the past 2 years? Our hallmark when we were good was the defense held everybody down. And Micah Parsons just got held to absolutely nothing. Alvin Kamara ran all over that defense. The two safeties ran into each other on one of the passes. Was it Shaheed? That they just looked at each other and were like, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. No? Okay. Let's just let him walk into the end zone. It was an embarrassment. Like, they looked terrible. That's all there is to it. So,
You know how I would describe the Saints offense? I do it in one word. Cardi Gras.
Because Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Mardi Gras,
you know what,
Cardi Gras.
buddy? I love you, but
Not your
that
best.
has nothing to do with Derek Carr.
Not your best. No, if
91
It has
points.
nothing
91
to do,
points.
No, it has nothing to do with. Well, stop.
Can we give the Saints some flowers? Let's give the Saints some flowers.
All right.
What?
We're not giving Saints their flowers. You don't get to do this for Maddie. You are absolutely, I feel, what do we call it? Collusion? When something happens that you don't like, I feel like that's what's happening right now. So absolutely not. I just said the Saints are good. I did not say they were bad. I also said the Cowboys had a terrible game. That is all we will say about that. Josh, I would like you to explain to me. I love that he's trying to give Derek Carr his flowers in 2 games.
let's just remember, like, if you've been on the receiving end of an Alvin Kamara beatdown, just
Wait. You know what? Actually, unmute Ryan. I'd like to talk to Ryan.
He is.
Ryan, do you remember last year when the Miami Dolphins were unstoppable?
No, I don't. That's a distant memory in my mind.
I believe we have recorded evidence
Yep.
that you said otherwise.
I think this is fake news. I think AI.
I
there
don't
must have
think
been
it's
some
AI. I don't think it's fake news. No, I believe we have the raw audio files and video
Not
files.
sure I know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Huh.
Yeah.
How the turns have tabled.
Interesting. All I know is
Do you want to talk about the Miami Dolphins? Let's go to them first instead of you, Josh. Hang on.
I wanted to talk about Alvin Kamara, but that's all right.
Well,
No,
I
Josh,
don't.
please talk about Alvin Kamara.
I don't.
This is now the second time I've been on the receiving end of a beatdown by Alvin Kamara, especially in fantasy. I do remember, Alvin, I want you to know right now, I remember Christmas Day 2020. I remember 6 touchdowns and 52 points. I remember where
Whose team
I
was he on?
I believe it was your team.
It was my team.
Yeah, I believe it was. I think
Does that still stand as the greatest? I think that's the greatest single day fantasy performance in NFL history. I still think that stands.
It depends on how you score your leagues.
Yeah.
So there's a couple standout ones, but yes, I remember, and it hurt again this year. So we can move on to Cincinnati.
There are.
I do have the
mitigating
greatest.
factors.
I do have the greatest
do
fantasy
not.
performances of all time.
No, I don't. We haven't even talked about the teams yet, Ryan. And I know that by the way you started, that's why I muted you. You're trying to get under my skin this early in the podcast. It's not going to happen. I'll mute you again. I swear to God.
I shall mute you a second time.
I mute you a second time. If you get that reference, unfortunately, you're old.
Take your leave immediately.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about us.
Yep.
Also, this is your first time to the podcast. Just know we normally don't start with sports. If you are watching on YouTube, Ryan just ran out of the room for some inexplicable reason. But we're all over the place. We do 4 things. We talk about sports, music, movies, and we do a hot take every week. Make sure to go look us up on youtube.com/ as I'm waiting for it to pop up, at the quad with CY.
There you go. By the way, shout out to our friend Moncel, who's done an excellent job posting those YouTube videos.
Does an
quick.
amazing job, yes.
The thumbnails on them are awesome. So shout out, Moncel. We love you. They're looking good.
Moncel, we love you even though you are a Saints fan.
Despite
It's so quiet over there
despite
too.
you being a Saints
No,
fan.
he's
loving it.
not quiet. He already texted me. He texted me at the start of the game. I hadn't even gotten to sit down yet because we'd been out on the road, and I put the jersey on, showed up, sat down, and they had already scored a touchdown.
And it's over.
And it's over. And by the way, it was a mess.
16 possessions, 16 scores.
Anyway, you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the Dolphins and how much they suck. What's their record?
1-1, not 2-0. 1-1.
Well, they ain't going to be Tua at all.
There is no Tua.
Well, I will say this. They've got Seattle coming up with 10 days rest, and Seattle looked terrible against the New England Patriots. They had to go to overtime to be able to beat the Patriots in that game on the road. So, look.
By the way, you're already looking forward and not addressing the game that you just played. How did y'all look in the game you just played?
Let me address 2 things from that game. I'll address the game, and then I'll address Tua Tagovailoa. In terms of the game, look, the Bills have been our daddy for quite too long. We've had to go through the Bills in this division, and we are not, for a team that wanted to be considered on Kansas City's level last year, we're not even on Buffalo's level yet. So brought down to reality, it was a hard lesson I learned on Thursday Night Football of just how good, even with a depleted Bills defense and less weapons on offense, how much further along they are than my franchise. And so, yes, that was a hard fall and come to Jesus that I had on Thursday night against this team. I will say, however, obviously my number one concern is with Tua Tagovailoa and the health of my quarterback, who has now had, if you go back to college, 5 concussions in the last 6 years. Now, he has stated he has no plans to retire.
There's no way he's starting next week.
No.
No matter what.
He's going to sit next week, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sits the week after that. I do think he's going to return at some point this season. This was not as bad as the previous concussions we saw against Buffalo or Cincinnati a couple of years ago. It is.
It's
repeated concussions. Let's say your piece, Ryan, because I want to address it too.
Yeah, no, I think, look, what's most important is his health, his future as a father, as a family man, beyond football. That is what's paramount here. It is his decision and his decision alone, with the consult of doctors, neuroscientists, and concussion experts, of whether or not he wants to continue playing. I do think that he will. I also think my suggestion and what I think he will do, Guardian caps are now legal to be worn in games. And I wouldn't be surprised, which, by the way, that's reduced concussions by 50% from players that have worn them in practices over the last 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that moving forward. Anything that can be done to protect him and his future health is what's paramount here.
I agree with you. I think if he plays again, he should do that. I think that would be in his best interest. I've had a concussion from a car accident before. And I remember thinking in the moment, I'm totally fine. Like, whatever. Like, knew how to. I'm sorry. But again, another old reference. I guess I'm just doing
Just throwback
Yeah.
Monday.
I rolled down the window on my my '89 Camaro. Yeah, because the door was slammed shut. A guy hit me from behind while I was stopped on the interstate because there was traffic up ahead, and he hit me doing
How
60
fast was?
miles an
Oh
hour.
my God.
That's not good.
Split the back of my head wide open. I had no idea. Climbed out the car window. I was like. And the worst thing is my mom was in front of me in a different car. Mm-hmm. So he hit me so hard that I hit her, who then she hit someone else because the guy just barely tapped his brakes.
Yeah.
And I got out and I was like, something's like this. And if you've ever, trigger warning, if you've ever had a head wound, they bleed a lot.
Yep.
And so I basically like pulled my hand away. It was just like, oh, oops, I need to sit down.
Yep.
And I remember in the moment going, I know everything that's going on. I know exactly what I'm saying. And yeah, I did not. I was not right for a couple days after that. And that's probably lucky to say a couple days. And then when you stack them on top of each other, that's the issue.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because
it's not. I feel like the argument now is either people are starting to say he's either never going to play again and retire, or he's going to come back next week. That's not how it's going to work. Most likely, he is going to come back and play again. I agree with you, Rye. If he can wear the Guardian cap, I think that would be a good thing for him.
I don't think he should come back and play. But I'm not him, so I can't make that decision.
No, I want your. Why do you feel that way, Bear? Like, what's your perspective on that reasoning?
Again, when you've had that many concussions, it's been proven that one day might be your last concussion because it's too traumatic. And we can see how he's really bad about diving into. He doesn't know how to slide. That's a problem. Like he goes in. People wanted to kind of blame DeMar, and I'm like, that was 100% a good hit with DeMar. He dove into DeMar's chest. Like, you can't do that as a quarterback, and you're setting yourself up for failure. But how many more times is he going to make those decisions to the point where it's his last decision because it's the wrong one? And you never know where you can go with brain injuries. Even if they look at you and be like, well, you can probably take a couple more concussions before you're done, but you don't really know until it's too late.
Well, that's the problem, right? So for example, the DeMar Hamlin injury was not that hard of a hit in the grand scheme of anything. Not the one that Tua hit DeMar. When DeMar went down, it was a very routine, didn't look like that big of a hit, but because of what was going on internally with him, he dropped immediately. And that's the problem that we're looking at with Tua now. It may not be a big hit. It may just be a lineman falling back on him and he falls to the ground, but something shakes loose, or there is a brain bleed, or there's a hematoma that no one has found that day because it started that morning, or whatever, right? The unknown is the unknown is the problem.
Yeah. The unknown is the problem for all of us. And that's always, you're never promised tomorrow sort of thing. That's one thing. This is something different where we actually have a lot of people that have, through the years of his history of playing football, gone, this year he had this problem, this year he had this problem, this year. And the fact that there's that many little stat lines on his medical history, I understand why they need to be cautious with it. And I appreciate his coach coming out and standing up for him to make whatever decision he wants to make once he's cleared and said that he's healthy. But I didn't like the way he did it, because it was sort of like, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, because this is your team, not mine. It seemed almost like flippant. He was like, everybody's talking about like he needs to take care of himself and worry about the future. Just get out of here. And I'm like,
You're like, it's a bigger deal than this, my guy.
Yeah, it's
we
not
care.
like he had one concussion. It's people genuinely concerned about him.
I think the overall takeaway from what I had from Mike McDaniel was him basically pleading with a lot of ex-NFL players that were giving opinions right after saying he should retire, pleading with fan bases wondering, when is my quarterback going to play next? Basically saying like, let's just pump the brakes for a second, man. Let's let Tua heal and make the decisions he needs to make with him and his family.
Just
and
say
respect
that. I wish you would have said that. I wish you would have said that.
If he had said that, I would have been so
That's
much
not-
more okay.
That's Mike McDaniel's bravado. It's a little bit more crass than that.
Yeah,
I
but
not
think.
in that
So-
moment.
This is not the time for that. Like,
Well, also going back to other retired NFL players making the decision, it's because they're older and they also know how it feels at their point in life going through football, how they feel now and how they probably may have done earlier. So that's why some of them are coming out and saying that, because they have the head trauma and they have these issues. So they're like, this is how it feels when you get older and this is the problem. So
And to your point, Bear, CTE is a very real thing. We've
Yes.
seen it in Junior Seau. We've seen it in research done on Aaron Hernandez's brain. Like it is the cloud hanging over the NFL, right? And what is a dangerous sport nonetheless. That is the overarching cloud hanging over this league. And so, look, Tua, hope that he's fine and well. Dolphins wise, upcoming schedule, Seahawks, Titans, Patriots. They can wait a little bit and try and see if they can win some of these games with Skylar Thompson and let Tua be able to make the decision he needs to make.
I just think there's some issues here because all right, so Tua's played in 55 NFL games. Let's throw in another 12 per season for college. So where are we at? 80 games ish.
Sure.
Great. 6 concussions that we know about, plus whatever he got when he was playing in high school that were probably undiagnosed, Pop Warner, etc. This is a large percentage. We're now in like the 8% of your career games you've gotten a concussion. Like that's not a good side of this to be on at all. So there's that. Number 2, unfortunately, this is a business. You have to look at the money aspect of this, and this is the uncomfortable part of all this. If he chooses to retire because it's his choice, he will forego $167 million. If he is medically unable to be cleared to play and is forced to retire because of that, he will be owed $167 million. Herein lies why people continue on. They're trying to, even in those moments, shoulder the weight of their future family, their kids' future, etc., and say, you know what? If I can make it through 2 more seasons, that's forever money that changes my family's entire life.
Yeah.
Versus I could walk away now, still have made incredible money in the grand scheme of life, but not the same, right? And this is how do you're trying to live your life for the greater good.
He's in the 1% of 1% of 1%.
Right.
Trying to figure out, what do I do? Andy doesn't want to let his teammates down.
And he's a good
all
guy.
He's known as sport. And by the way, I'm sure he knows other things. I don't mean to diminish like whatever his hobbies are. I don't know Tua at all. But he does seem
He likes to play the ukulele.
Does he really?
He does. He plays
that
guitar
was
too. He's actually
that was
pretty
a
good.
serious question. I
Yeah,
wasn't.
he's actually a really good guitar player.
Okay. So see, again, there's other things that he loves in life outside of sport that people may or may not know about, depending on how much they know about him. I just think it's tough. And
there will be opportunities for him as a sportscaster, as a face of the NFL, because the NFL will go, hey, if you retire, wink, wink, we're going to give you as a ambassador of wellness for the league, right? There are things that you can still do
involved in the sport
that don't require you getting your head bashed in. You know?
I would like to see him play again. I'm just saying it's more complicated than your normal. Someone got a concussion.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of injuries, a litany. So hopefully he's well, and that's the end all be all I take from it. I can't side on one or the other, and that's what I hate. I see that so much where people are like, there's only 2 options. It's this or that. That works for hot takes for fun. Okay. Bear. But in real life, that's not how real life works. You don't know all of the external factors that are going on. You don't know any of the behind the scenes for people. That's
Bless
why people like to keep a lot of stuff. When you look at somebody's Instagram page, they very rarely show you the negative side of anything, me included.
Yeah, you don't know the L's.
You don't know the L's.
Is it possible? Let me just throw this out there. Is it possible? Wouldn't this be the exact team that Tom Brady would come back to play for? Isn't
Yeah.
it? No, I mean, look at it. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Well,
a good defense.
He can't because he owns part of the
He
team.
can't. He the sale isn't final.
The sale
by
isn't
the way,
final.
it hasn't
he
gone
can't.
through final. But just for the record,
but isn't this like the multiple,
I know where you're going here, Josh. I like where you're going here.
multiple receivers, good defense, an okay starting
Don't give
offensive
another
line?
team in Florida Tom Brady.
I
again.
don't want it.
broke your
Are you
heart
kidding
last
me?
time.
I don't want it. I'm not saying that I want this at all. Well, I kind of want to beat him just to like finally.
no, I
Josh.
took you.
Give it to me,
I took
Josh.
you to that Super Bowl and made a really funny TikTok of us on the
I know.
sideline that you did not appreciate.
No, I did not. It was,
However,
I was
Josh,
trying to bring some levity to the moment, and you were just like not having it.
Josh, don't forget that the Dolphins were fined and taken away a draft pick because of tampering involving Tom Brady. So that is one other thing, maybe.
right.
should
So I mean,
consider.
there's already the back channels already exist, my friend. That's all I'm saying.
Stephen Ross, the owner, is a Michigan alum. He's a Michigan alum.
I'm
so.
merely saying, like, of all of the teams in the NFL, if Tom Brady were to just like throw his hat back in, it seems like the obvious choice to me. So anyway.
All right. Do you want to do a really quick thing on Kansas City
Sure.
after they screwed everyone in America by once again not only not covering but only winning by 1 point?
America, the United Kingdom.
Do not
Wherever you can bet money.
ever 1-800 bets off. That is the gambling hotline if you have a gambling problem.
If you choose to bet money, which I wouldn't, but the Chiefs will never cover, and they will never.
And if they're in the All Reds,
And if they're in the All Reds, bet the farm again. Don't bet. Don't take my advice. Yeah, that's not just. It's unlikely. It is unlikely that they're going to win that game.
the positions of Josh League are not endorsed by the
yeah.
Quad with Chris Young or any subsidiaries thereof.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would. The thing about being a Chiefs fan in this era, I did it.
Oh God!
The thing about being a Chiefs,
Jag!
yeah, you're welcome. The thing about being a Chiefs fan right now is everyone's going to play up and give you their best swing at it, right? So a Cincinnati Bengals team that looked
Trash.
pretty terrible.
Or are they desperate because they lost the first game and they know if you go 0-2 that you have like a 4 or 5% chance of making the playoffs?
Oh yeah, for sure. And the Bengals are one of those that started 0-3 one year and went to the playoffs. So
Once.
yes. So it's both, right? There's the desperation of going 0-2. There's also everyone wants to beat the Chiefs, and especially Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They have, for whatever reason, they have the perfect script or the perfect personnel, or Patrick is just not in the right headspace every time he plays that team. I don't know what it is. I'm glad we're on the winning side of it this week. Do I feel great about it? I don't feel great about it. Losing Pacheco probably for the season
Yeah.
is not good.
Well, it's a fibula injury. So if it's broken,
It can heal, and he could be back by the playoffs. So
he might be back before then.
we have Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on IR right now. He's dealing with some issues with PTSD, so he's out. That leaves us with Samjay Pirine, he's a great running back.
Sorry, what's his name?
Samjay Pirine,
I thought it was Samaji.
whatever.
I thought it was.
It is
plain.
Samaji.
Samaji
Samaje
Pirine,
Perine.
but it is Pirine.
Yeah, okay.
Samaji
A
Pirine.
former Florida Gator, if I'm not mistaken.
Former Denver Bronco also.
That's not a winning reputation.
Well, if we're just naming teams that aren't very
Just
good.
say he plays for the Chiefs. Just say he plays for the Chiefs.
It would be a wrinkle in a very tough schedule moving forward. So yeah, cautiously optimistic, 2-0. We need to chunk some wins when we can get them. So
Yep.
that's where we're at.
Guess who's not cautiously optimistic?
Bears fans.
Bears fans. Our defense does not deserve this.
You have a great defense.
Our defense does not deserve
If they
what
could,
the offense is offering.
if they could just rest for more than like 30 seconds.
Hang on. It's almost like Bear may have been right on her take on Caleb Williams.
And you know what? You know what's crazy is the fact, like, yesterday's game, Caleb obviously was really bad at making decisions, and I understand that our whole offensive line is just trash.
Yeah, no, your offensive line is really bad.
It is 7 sacks. 7. And then Caleb had back-to-back picks. It's one of those situations where our office is trash. Our
Front office.
our offense.
I was like, what do you
It's
got against The
trash.
Office? I love The Office.
I love The Office. It's a great TV show.
Yes, the Bears head office is trash. Our coach is trash. His play calling is still trash. It's everything about our offense is trash. Our defense is finally coming back to the Bears defense that we once used to have, because Bears were always known for their defense. And at the back end of last year is when we started to see it again. And how much effort the defense has put in the first 2 games is like a whole season's worth, and I'm scared for them because they have still a whole season to go. And we're just not gonna we're not gonna be good. We're relying solely on our defense, and our quarterback can't get it right. Our coaching can't get it right. Our offensive line, it's, you know how y'all make that joke, if there's one thing in life, it's death, taxes, and the Kansas City never
Chiefs
covered.
not covering.
Yeah. The Bears will never have an offensive line. We've always had offensive line problems. We've always had quarterback problems. 2 things we can never get right, and the 2 things they never want to fix.
I think you had an okay line, but you had Mitchell Trubisky as your quarterback.
Also, dare I say that Caleb Williams looked a little bit like, I don't know, Justin Fields? Like, that looked a lot like Justin Fields last year, if I'm
no.
not mistaken.
Not even close.
That was very reminiscent of Justin Fields.
At least Fields would run.
Yeah, there was, like, we have no run game right now. We barely got 4th and inches. We couldn't get 4th
Barely.
and 1. It's just absolute. I wanted to be wrong. I wanted to be wrong this year because I want to enjoy my season. But
Are
this
you the
is
kind of
just-
person that likes to put negativity out on your team so that when they do well, you can be like, oh, so surprised?
Not necessarily, but I want it.
Probably a little bit.
I'm
Can
like
we
I
clip
said,
that?
I'm-
Like, I
Yes, that
want
right there.
that audio. I want that audio. I want to be wrong. Like, I want that audio.
I see Monsell touching buttons over there, so I'm
Great.
pretty sure that just got clipped.
Basically, all I'm saying is, as I'm a Bear realist, I am a realist on our team. I am not gung ho. We're going to the Super Bowl after we win 1 game. Blah, blah, blah. I see what is in front of me. I see the office will not change. It's
The
not
front
going.
office.
Yeah. Sorry, the front office will not change for the Bears. And I was hoping that just maybe me, like, being a realist, that I would be wrong and that Caleb Williams was going to come out and the offense was going to come out and we were actually going to be so good. And it's just proving that I am going to be right. And that's sad because I want to enjoy my football season.
Okay, we have spent 28 minutes
That's a lot of.
on the
football's
NFL.
back.
I know football's back. We're very excited, but there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast that
I
don't.
am just real quick.
care at all.
Bear. I'm actually 100% with you on this. I think Caleb Williams is not the answer. I'm watching this dude. One of his picks in the 4th quarter rolls to his right, actually evades a couple tackles, makes what would have been an incredible throw in college football to the sideline that gets picked. And that's sort of the difference, right? This is the difference between college and NFL. Furthermore, I watched him the entire game stare at his receiver, slowly wind up and throw it to them, and they were getting murdered over the middle. Murdered. Like,
He was not putting them in the best position.
no, and that's a Texans defense that's good, but like we would not consider to be incredible, you know?
I'll give you a perfect example. If you want to break down film and you really want to watch stuff that's minutia, and you like football, if you're listening to this podcast, or you haven't really gotten into it yet, and you want to learn like why certain things are important, it's when to throw the ball away from a quarterback. That's important. And not to bring this up. Here you go, Maddie. Here's your moment. Monsell, hope you enjoy yourself. Derek Carr made a really smart play while they were doing one of those drives the other day because the corner, it looked like was getting beat on the route, but it was the way he was playing it. and he was looking to jump the route, and he was right there on the guy's hip. The guy was slightly in front of him, and right at the end of the play, when it went over his head, you saw the corner speed up real fast, and he saw him doing it in real time, and it's so quick. They're looking at multiple different players. They're going through there's my 1, my 2, my 3, my check down, and he decided to throw it away, and they ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive, which what could have been a pick and a turnover.
Right.
Cardi Gras.
But that's the difference.
Gras.
Yeah, I got it. But that's the difference of actually watching film, because he watched film of that corner going, he's faster than this.
He likes to,
and he's slow.
duck
He's
back.
slow playing this, so I'm not going to just let this back shoulder hang over there.
quick run through and very, very quick. Longhorns, hate seeing yours go down with a non-contact injury, but
Arch Manning, incredible.
Arch Manning is ridiculous. It's a Manning with legs. What happened?
He's going to win the Heisman.
It's
He's
scary.
going to win the Heisman.
It's scary.
Mark it down right now.
If he stays in, if yours does not come back,
He's going to win the Heisman.
I'll put him up there. Gators, y'all are in
Trash.
all kinds of trouble. K-State,
That's
and
the
Ryan
correct
loves
answer.
UCF, even though I guess he said they play in the Big 12, which I don't even know what that is without Oklahoma and Texas.
21. That's actually the same conference as K-State. And a 21-point come from behind victory on the road for the first Big 12 victory
Come
of the
from
year.
behind
3-0.
victory down 21 points, and he's crowing about it.
I love
it. Let's go to music.
Music.
Let me just throw this out there.
Oh my God, it's been 30 minutes.
Hold on. Arch Manning to win Heisman plus 2,000.
We haven't talked about fantasy.
I'm on it.
Okay, fantasy football. Did you win this week?
I won.
That's what
I'm
you wanted
supposed to
talk.
win this week. Ryan, did you win this week?
I am supposed to beat Jess unless Saquon Barkley goes off.
I was
So
personally.
you're wait. I'm supposed
so-
to win because my quarterback has not played yet, and I'm down. What? Less than 9 points.
You said you're supposed to be Jess?
Oh, no, Michael Roach. Sorry, Michael Roach. My
Yeah.
bad.
I was personally victimized by Alvin Kamara. However, I'm only down 23 to Stacy, and I still have Drake London and Elliott to go.
Good luck.
But he has
Ooh.
Devontae Smith and Dallas Goddard.
So anyway,
Not
going
good.
to
Not good.
music. Hit
Yes.
the button again.
yeah, it's,
Music.
I
should
swear.
be no. I'm just kidding. I'm
No.
kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
I will
I'm
unplug your
kidding.
microphone.
I know. I knew you were going to do that.
I'm sorry if this is your first time listening to the podcast, but we love sports just as much as we love music here. Again, thank you guys for a big number one on Young Love and Saturday nights. That was amazing. I got to say that all weekend at all three of my shows, one of which actually ties into sports in a really cool way. We got to play a show that was very unlike any show I've ever done before in Minneapolis.
Target Field, baby.
Target Field, right after the game. It was Target for the French lovers out there.
fancy.
If you're, if you want to get fancy on a budget. That's what we used to call it all the time when I would go. I still do, obviously, because I'm a dork. But Target Field, they took great care of us. Thank you so much to everybody with the organization. They literally play the game. You go down on the field. They roll a stage out. It was like a semi-trailer stage. Hop up there. They basically line check right before we go on. Go on, play for an hour, say goodnight. At one point, I turned around and my bass player, Steve, and my guitar player, Kevin, are not watching the crowd that's in the infield, and then everybody's in the seats as well, right? They're turned around watching the two big screens behind them so that they can see what it looks like, because they're like, oh, we're on the big screen. And I'm like, well, right now you can see your butt because you're turned around to the crowd.
Right.
Well, and it was also very distracting watching the crowd. I think that's what they also got, just because the crowd was awesome. So they kept panning to people in the crowd and just like singing and jumping. So that's really cool.
Yeah, shout out to the Twin Cities, that organization. Absolutely incredible. Had so much fun.
I got more texts about that show than any show you've done in recent memory, where I had people saying, "Hey, your buddy's coming to town." I'm like, "Yes, I'm in Cleveland for a series, so I won't be there. But you can go to MLB.com and get tickets. And by the way, it's a concert right after the show. So go ahead and support the Twins and have fun." By the way, I think we should now officially make a campaign, CY, for you to play a show for every division in baseball. I think next up is the AL East, and just saying I have some special connections for a post-game concert at Tropicana Field if you'd like to put that on the calendar for next year.
Well, so here's the deal. I actually was talking with the guy from he doesn't work directly with the Minnesota Twins organization. He works with a whole bunch of sports organizations. And he was like, "We need to have you on more of these." And I was like, "Okay." Like, darn. I got to watch a game and then go down and play a show
in a stadium
for a whole bunch of people that I think, at least judging by their response, really enjoyed it. And it was amazing. And it wasn't just that show. Like, this entire weekend was really, really cool. So Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Eau Claire, whichever one it's
all clear.
Yeah, all clear. No, I didn't do that. But in McHenry, Illinois, where we closed everything out with a big festival that had Justin Moore and Chris Jansen, Graylin James, like, really great weekend, and a lot of fun for me to get to sort of not put a lid on the year, because, like, again, we talked a little bit last week about charity shows. I'm playing one tonight for my buddy David Tolliver that they do every year here in town. So I'm going to go be a part of that event and hopefully raise a lot of money for a good cause. But it's awesome and just been a weird year, but an incredible year. And, one of the things that once you get towards the end of any year, you start thinking about, like, things that you're grateful for. It's just people following my music, being able to be in the position to have another number one, just all that stuff, man. I am blessed beyond measure. And anyone listening to this within the sound of my voice and all of our voices, thank you very much. And we love you. So I feel good today, even though the Cowboys sucked.
It's okay.
At least he had a Texas win.
Yeah. It's amazing how much our emotions are tied to our favorite sports teams.
It is. It really is.
I just have very depressing sports teams, apparently.
You'd be used to it by now.
You're right.
But actually, there was talk about me doing some more of those, Ryan. So,
well,
who
listen,
knows?
like I said, I can't speak for all the other sports, but I have special connections. And by the way, T-Pain played a post-game concert at Tropicana Field this year. I don't know why you wouldn't be in line next year. So text me on the side, buddy, if you want me to put in a good word.
I think Chris,
Yeah, right
and
after T-Pain. You know who I think of? See, I
Young.
think of Shea Mooney, because he was signed to T-Pain's publishing company originally.
Well, Riley Green also did a post-game show at the Trop as well. So listen, buddy, I'm here to help.
I don't think that has anything to do with you, Ryan.
I'm just here to help.
I'll
Here to offer
invite
my
you.
services in any way.
I'll invite you if I play one. How about that?
Nah, I'll be on the field anyway.
Not playing.
Okay.
Hand him a tambourine. See what happens.
Yeah,
If you-
okay,
if
never
you-
mind.
if
If I play Tropicana Field, Ryan, you have to come on stage for one song. We'll just give you a bass that's not plugged in, and you can just get up there and
I could play the bass. Slapping the bass, man. Slapping the
exactly
bass.
Ryan bass. Yeah,
I hate this.
but you
love it.
laughed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You made the joke.
Unfortunately.
No, incredible weekend. Had a whole lot of fun. So now it's in that weird process of, oh, what do we do now?
Yeah.
What's the next song? What do we go to? And then there's a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes that no one knows about yet that's already been completed that everybody's excited about.
You've been putting up a poll on what you want the next single. Do you want us to put one up on the podcast and pick the 4 of songs that you?
You know what? Let's do that, because that's
Give the power to the people.
yeah.
Reminder.
Here, I'll post it right now. I'll
Yeah.
post one on Instagram and X, Twitter.
I'm on the
Okay.
X right now.
For
so if you want me to post it,
anyone listening, audio only and not watchwatching, Josh's phone just buzzed. That was not, in fact, a
It sounded
producer
like-
Josh fart.
It sounded like a fart, but it wasn't.
All right, what songs do we want to see?
Let's put What She Sees in Me, Don't Call Me, Double Down. What for number 4?
Tonight we're dancing.
That's not on this record.
Pull it out of the archive.
You're like, never mind. Put it out again.
It's not too late.
It's never too late. I don't know. What do we do for the 4th?
Country Boys Prayer.
Okay. Sure. Put that one. We'll see what people say.
Bear, you're on the IG. I'm putting it on the
Yes.
X Twitter sphere right now.
So we have.
We're
should
just gonna call it Twitter
from now on. Every time I call it X, then it's like X, Twitter. It's like, yeah, you feel like you have to say both of them.
Right. So let's just say Twitter.
It was What She Sees in Me, Don't Call Me, Country Boys Prayer, and what?
Double down.
Double down.
Double Down.
But you do know what people mean when they say it.
Yep.
So there's that.
Sort of.
You
Yeah.
can mark it. Yeah, that's sort of all I got. I've just had my head down getting through that. I've got some cool stuff coming up this week, but it's nothing that I can really.
Share.
Did anyone bring confetti to the studio? I've been waiting for confetti to go off. Did anybody bring confetti this week?
It's just a lot to clean up. You know what I mean?
I'm bringing confetti. I'll be in town next week. I'm bringing confetti.
All right.
It's a done deal.
Sorry, guys.
Wow. Allergy season.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Going into fall, just be aware if you have allergies.
Nashville is
Feel
one of
like-
the worst places in the world if you have allergies.
That would be a great place for just like a random allergy company. Everybody's like, why are they sponsored by them? What the hell?
Allegra has brought.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Claritin fan.
We are open to all allergy supplements and companies here on
Ryan,
this
do
podcast.
not give anyone free plugs.
Big Pharma.
Don't
No, I'm
do it.
saying if they would like to sponsor, we will. We're happy to welcome
I
anybody.
don't know
to the
how
show.
much Big Pharma is going to love us after our movie today. Yeah, we're gonna dig into that. Also, I will go first today on what are you listening to.
Oh,
So I'm hoping that it does not start playing. Thank God it did not. I was going down a rabbit hole the other day of just, we used to do this thing at one of the local spots that we hung out at, and there was never anybody in there. And now this place is, of course, just like everything else in Nashville, there's a billion people there. But we used to take over the like digital jukebox that they had, and we would just play Motown. So we'd do like anything Motown or Motown adjacent all day long, and we called it Motown Mondays. And one of my favorites was Sam Cooke. And on his greatest hits, I could pick pretty much anything.
yeah.
But Bring It On Home to Me, Sam Cooke.
Heck yeah.
Little throwback action for you today. Ryan, do you have one teed up?
I do. So this one I actually heard coming across the highway and country radio, and I'm glad that it's kind of caught on. Red Farron's Just Like Johnny is actually it's actually very similar to the Jack and Diet Coke tune that they've got. I really like it, Just Like Johnny.
He's a good dude. Shout out to Blake. Wonderful human being. Mine is also a throwback.
You're not supposed to reveal the name.
Michael Hardy. Oh no. Mine was also a throwback. My niece turned 21 this weekend and came to town because she wanted to go out in Nashville.
Your niece is the same age as Stacy's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
She did turn 21, right, Monsell?
Yeah, that's what Stacy.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Anyway, so we were at Chiefs on Broadway, and this song popped on, and I was like, wow, I haven't heard this one in a minute. And it was Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah.
That's random.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan looks confused. I guarantee you've heard that song.
you know that song.
You would know
Everyone-
it if it started playing.
All right, just making sure.
Okay.
I was rattling my brain there. Thank you for, by the way, noticing, calling out my thought process
I
there.
saw
Thank you.
the look on your
Thank you.
face of like pure confusion, and I'm like, he knows this song. He
Yeah.
just
I would
doesn't
be
know that he
so
knows this
surprised if
song.
you had never
Oh.
heard this before.
All the girls around you back in the day were jamming to that song. You know that song.
You were playing that song to hit on the girls that were around you back in
Yes.
the day. Bear, what's yours?
Still on a big Sabrina Carpenter kick. Love her music. Love her. Love everything about her. So I'll do Taste this week.
All right. As always, guys, we do make a Spotify playlist. If you are just bored sitting in the car, you want to go check that out. It is an amalgamation of just absolute craziness. Some of them are not safe for work every now
Sorry.
and then. Guess who put those in there. But it's a lot of fun to listen to. I've actually gone and listened to it a couple times and just let it just skip around while I was running or doing something.
It's very chaotic.
Yeah, it's very chaotic.
Very hard to
But
like
it's-
work out to that playlist because you're just like, oh, there's an upbeat one. Then you're like, oh, no.
There's a Christmas song
never mind.
sometimes in there.
Well, it at the end of the year, yes, but we then start it over every year. So let's go to the movie. Movies. All right, we decided to get deep this week with a movie called Dark Waters. It is a 2019 film, PG-13, thriller mystery, 2 hours and 6 minutes. A tenacious attorney uncovers a dark secret that connects a growing number of unexplained deaths to one of the world's largest corporations. While trying to expose the truth, he soon finds himself risking his future, his family, and his own life. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not surprised. This is based on The Lawyer Who Became DuPont's Worst Nightmare by Nathaniel Rich. I did not know that it was adapted from a book.
I didn't either until I did a little.
I know it's based on a
research.
true
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
but I did not realize that it was off of that. So basically, you don't need to hit the spoiler button. This is 5 years old. This is the story of a corporate lawyer who basically represented large companies, manufacturing companies, chemical companies, and his firm, and him finding all this information out about is it PFOAs is what they called it?
Yes.
PFOAs. So which is also known as C8 in studies, that actually most people have C8 in their blood.
Yeah.
Studies have
99%
shown
of people, actually, if I'm not mistaken, 99%.
most people in the United States have PFOA in their blood. It's very widespread. And basically, a lot of people will remember this as Teflon.
Yep.
So, like the nonstick Teflon pans, there was like a huge recall.
Frying
of all of
pans,
them,
carpet
and
flooring,
flooring,
all sorts
yeah.
of stuff.
all kinds of things. And they were basically, is this lawsuit still ongoing?
I'm sure. I think it was a
think
class
it is
action.
still
Yeah.
ongoing.
I think
yeah,
there
I
still
think
is.
it's still ongoing.
Well, the class action was like, I can't even put that out. But I think the class action ended up being settled for like 78 million or something
Yeah.
like that. But there may be another one that's ongoing. DuPont basically was the crux of this entire story, and they go into how all of this stuff ended up in the drinking water in a specific town and then spread from there. It's very much like if you watched Aaron Brockovich, like it's that sort of film. Mark Ruffalo was sort of spearheading this. He actually, I believe, talked in Washington.
About all this?
Yeah, about all
Interesting.
this. It was.
he was so good. He was so good in this.
He was also a
film. Like, this
producer,
is one of
so-
his most underrated roles.
It was like a passion project for him,
Yeah.
for sure.
He wanted to tell this story.
Yeah. But what did you guys think? Did you like it?
This was actually the first time watching it for me, and I really liked it. And obviously, I'm like, oh, this is insane to me. Like this process and how unfortunately we know this is not the only thing that there are some big companies out there that have done in the past. They just haven't been brought forth or caught. But what's crazy is because I had never seen this or had really known how deep this went, even though I knew Teflon was bad. So there was, I came across like a big discussion and someone was like, my pets are getting sick, and they were still using Teflon. And it was like, if your pets were coughing and like basically getting sick, it was from them cooking with the Teflon. And it just blows my mind that I didn't see how far back this actually went and how bad it's actually been. So I really enjoyed it, and like you said, Mark Ruffalo did really, really, really good, but I enjoyed it.
The opening scene feels like a horror like story.
And I found
getting
in the water.
Yeah. Like I found myself like, you know me, I don't like horse. So I'm like kind of like semi covering my eyes. And then you realize like it really sets the tone for the entire film. And by the way, Todd Hayes, who's the director here, is known for a lot of these contamination, like toxicity types of films. I thought they did a really good job. And the other cool thing that I realized after watching this movie and doing a little bit of research, the real couple. So between, you have Ruffalo and Anne Hathaway, and they kind of represent the couple of in the movie, with Ruffalo being the lawyer. The real couple appears as cameos in this film as well, which I think was a really nice touch by Hayes. So it kind of mixes in a little bit of that like world systemic toxicity culture with a actual real life court case ongoing. And Ruffalo, I think, did a masterful job. This, I believe, is like one of his more, I would say, like underrated films that he's not necessarily known for, that he did a really superb job in.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Ruffalo's career is very interesting.
Yeah,
very.
Just the roles
because
that
now everybody thinks of him as, oh, you're the Incredible Hulk.
Right, but then you have like 13 going on 30. You have this
yes,
movie. You have
I forgot about 13
Spotlight,
going on 30.
There's like he's all over the place.
where he and he's anywhere between like rom-com and then dialing it up like pretty dramatic.
What is it called?
By the way, this cast: Mark Ruffalo, Anne Hathaway, Tim Robbins, Bill Pullman, Bill Camp, Victor Garber, Mayor Winningham. There's so many people in this movie.
For sure.
Versatile, that's the word. He's a very versatile actor.
He is, and it's I'm going through his IMDb, and it's.
But you liked this movie.
Yeah, I liked this movie. I saw this movie years ago.
So did I. But it was nice to watch again.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. There's so many weird movies in this. This is so good.
We're so close to spooky season. We're so close.
Don't do it.
Ryan can't wait for spooky season.
I'm so excited, Ryan.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate
So
it
excited.
Much.
So one of the things that we do right before we go on stage, and I've talked about this before, my stage manager, when I say go, he gets on the walkie. He goes, all right, guys, prepare for house lights. Let's go. And then presses it again. And he gives us a quote from a movie every day, and then looks at me and sees if I can guess what movie it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started, as of this weekend, it's only a horror movie or even like tangentially related horror movie quotes. So I know you'll know this one immediately. So I'm going to throw this to you two. I want to see Ryan and Bear, if you can guess what this quote is from. It's like, feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
Nothing?
It's iconic.
Serious?
Like, they don't know.
I'm so bad when it comes to movie quotes.
Ryan's typing it
Is this
in.
from the 80s? Is this from the 80s?
This is from Little Shop of Horrors,
Yes.
where he feeds the plant and it
I've never seen Little
becomes
Shop
a
of
monster,
Horrors.
basically.
That would be 1986, and Bear and I weren't born yet.
Yeah, okay. I was one, so
Yeah, I was one as well.
You want to use that as an out?
No, I've never seen that movie.
Oh, come on.
Little
Right.
Shop of Horrors.
Bear talks about the 85 bears like she saw them, and
They were.
Yeah. Got her.
I
Hit
will,
the button.
I feel like I was part of the 85 Bears spiritually.
I was a part of the 72 Dolphins spiritually. And I don't think that was a
exactly.
thought.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
I came back reincarnated.
And I played Roger Staubach in my backyard. No, I didn't.
Did you?
No, it's a line from 19 something, the Mark Wills song. Do you not know that song? It was 1970 something in the world that I grew up in. Now you
No, I
remember?
Now I do.
Fair Fawcett hairdo.
Well, I mean,
days.
technically the key was Fair Fawcett hairdo days.
Bell bottoms and 8-track tapes.
See, you're singing in a completely wrong.
I'm at least singing
You're
the lyrics, right?
in between. I'm sorry, was I not?
No, I'm just saying. At least I'm getting something right.
I was like, what
You know
the
what?
hell?
Googling this, I did find out Roger Staubach is really his first nickname was Captain America. He is the initial and inaugural Captain America.
There's no other Captain America besides Chris Evans.
I'm
That's America's.
pretty
ass.
sure Captain. That is America's ass. I'm pretty sure Captain America existed in comics before Roger Staubach.
The reason he got the nickname Captain America, by the way, is because he
'Cause it's
served in the
America's
United
team.
States Navy. Well, no, he also Navy. He went to Navy and then played for America's team, Captain America. Hence the nickname.
But I'm pretty sure Captain America existed as a comic book character before that.
It's not, I'm pretty sure. It 100%
Well,
existed
yeah,
before.
I know. But I'm just waiting for Ryan to make the connection of when Captain America was created because if you go back in comic book history, he fought in World War II, Ryan.
Also known as Roger the Dodger.
He's just gonna gloss
Okay.
over.
Was that
it.
for draft dodging or?
Whoa, hey,
I'm-
hey!
I'm-
Do
I
not
asked-
do
I'm
not
asked, why
besmirch
did-
the name.
Why did they call him that?
Anyway, what movie are we watching next week? Let's get out of this spiral that we're in right now. Is there anything new coming out?
I don't think so.
I don't think there is either. I looked. I was trying to find something that I thought was good. We're in a lull for movies right now.
13 going on 30?
No.
No, absolutely not.
And I like that movie and absolutely not.
No.
No, yeah.
Let's see what's in the theater.
You
Training
would think,
Day?
You would think we would do this before.
Well, normally it's not that
It's part
hard
of the
to do.
process.
This
It's
is
part of the
one of those
process.
weeks where if it's October, we know what we're doing.
I'm looking at recently added for top 10.
And what is new?
movies. Whatever Uglies is, Rebel Ridge. What is that?
Oh, that's the new movie on Netflix.
Small-
You're
small
looking
town
at Netflix.
cops- yeah, small town cops thinks Terry's an easy target when they seize the former Marine's life savings. They have no idea how far he's willing to go for justice.
Ooh.
Aaron Pierre, Don Johnson.
I saw it. It sort of looks cool.
If I'm, obviously you can't hear it, but the trailer looks pretty cool.
Have you watched it?
Yeah,
Beekeeper. We already
already
did
did that one.
Beekeeper. Yeah.
That was really good.
I liked it. A lot of people didn't, which kind of surprised me. Yeah, Reagan has like an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, which we know
Haters.
we don't
Haters.
I thought about
we
that
don't
one.
believe in Rotten Tomatoes all the time. Sorry, y'all aren't gonna watch Despicable Me 4.
What about a classic? Breakfast Club is on.
Oh.
Is on Netflix.
We're going old school.
Ryan, have you seen Breakfast Club?
I have. It's been a long time, though, but I'd be down.
Haley?
I mean, yeah, I'm not.
Here we go, The
interested,
Breakfast
but-
Club. All right, I like it. But look, you got to change it up. We can go with a classic. All right, that's what we're doing.
There's also Reality Bites, which would also be a hilarious watch if you've never seen that one.
Have you ever seen Reality Bites, Haley?
No.
Okay, actually,
Let's do that
let's
one.
do Reality Bites instead because
the cast, Winona Ryder, Ethan Hawke, Ben Stiller, Steve Zahn, Janine Garofalo,
Yeah.
David Spade.
let's do that. Reality Bites.
But in
Never mind.
But in 1994.
Watch somebody out there is listening to this right now and they just got really excited because we're going to do The Breakfast Club and they love that movie. And then we were like, never mind.
Reality Bites for you too. You know?
Unpopular opinion, not a huge fan of The Breakfast Club.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Hot
Oh,
take.
wow.
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 That is a cold take.
Wow.
Speaking of hot takes,
Speaking of hot takes. Hot take! All right, guys. Chicken.
love it.
So you can do that, but you can't do the hot
That's
take.
way easier.
No, it's not.
That's pretty good, right?
That was great. Yeah, I can't do that. Nope.
I'll do a turkey.
One has to go.
Oh!
Oh my God.
Anyway, continue.
One has to go. Chicken, leg, thigh, drum, or wing. Now, you're keeping 3 of these. Bear in mind, you're picking the worst part of the chicken that you do not need.
Wing.
What's the difference between the leg and the drum?
Yeah.
Well, the leg would be
Isn't that just the drum and the
Yeah.
wing together?
Yeah.
it's all of it. So let's remove that. That's good. That's a good catch there, Josh.
I saw that too. I was like, huh?
But that was how it was presented. That was the argument that I saw.
Yeah.
What about
So-
breasts? We could put breast on here.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah.
Breast, thigh, drum, or wing.
There we go. That makes more sense.
Thank you, Rye.
One
for
has to
saving
go.
us.
One has to go.
Wing.
One has to go.
Wing. There's no meat on it. Sorry.
Wait a minute, Bear. Let me get this straight. You're fine with never eating chicken wings for the rest of your life. Like
I
chicken
don't
wings,
ever.
you
I
can.
don't even eat the wing part. Like, whenever I eat chicken wings, I eat the drum.
You're a drummies only person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flats. Come on, dog.
No, but the chicken wing itself, like especially when I get like rotisserie chickens and all that stuff, I don't even bother with the wings. There's no meat on it, and it's always dry as hell.
You know what? Actually, let's make this even more difficult because no one's getting rid of the breast or the thigh. You're cooking chicken thighs if you know how to cook them right. You're cooking
love
chicken
chicken
breast all
thighs.
the time. Let's
We've already
just
done.
make this.
We've done flats and drums before. Argument.
I know, but it seems like everybody's going to go drum or wing as the one they get rid of, right?
Nope.
Okay. Well, Josh, go ahead. I'm intrigued. Because she's your wings.
Get rid of the wing. Useless. No meat.
I'm going to get destroyed for this. While, yes, I have had a good chicken thigh.
Oh, Josh,
You're
don't do
kidding.
it.
While yes, I have. I've had way more mediocre chicken thighs than I've had mediocre chicken drummies or wings.
I
And
bet you
therefore,
don't season your food.
I do. No, you know what? You know I know how to cook. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of it, if we had to eliminate one for society in whole,
No, it's the juiciest and it's the most flavorful.
and it's the most undercooked usually because people don't know how to cook, and so for that reason, you can make a mediocre drummy and it's still pretty good, but a mediocre thigh is disgusting, and therefore I'm getting rid of the thigh.
Wow.
Jeez, I'm
I know.
slighted.
So you got a bunch of top-heavy chickens walking around. Okay.
Just they can't run away from me now.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Don't need
This
that
this
meaty
was
haunch.
this was when we added chicken breasts in here. This got a little bit tougher for me because I do love a nice seared or grilled chicken breast, but to me, it is the least flavorful of all of the
Oh my
remaining
gosh.
options. So if I am to get rid of
We're
any
all
part of
picking
the
a
chicken,
different thing.
Yeah.
if I'm to get rid of any part of the chicken for me, because it's kind of like a lean, like cut of white meat. Like I love chicken thighs are so flavorful, especially for me who knows how to cook them, especially pan seared. Love them. Chicken wings, it's a staple. I love chicken wings. Can't get rid of them.
There's no
Drumsticks, drumsticks. If you've ever been to a fair or a festival, having a big old drumstick in your hand while you're walking around
That's,
is
That's a
that's
turkey
turkey.
leg.
That's turkey.
no. You can do chicken, by the way. I've done it. before.
Those are some big
can't.
chickens.
Not unless it's been
I've done it.
exposed to some horrible dark waters and radiation.
I've done it. I've done it.
Boy,
A big
things are
old
weird
chicken
in
drumstick biting into it. Oh, sure, we get real weird in Florida. It is a masterpiece. So if I'm getting rid of anything, see you later, chicken breast, because the thigh, wing, and drumstick are going to be here to stay.
Well, we've all picked a different one because I was from the jump going to go drums.
You're so hurtful.
Look, I used to be on team all drums, but lately people absolutely hammer drumsticks when you order chicken wings. And so they get them so crispy on the outside that it just basically, it's like the outside of a drumstick at most places now. One, they're tiny. It looks like they stopped ordering the drumsticks that are like really and truly drumsticks. And I'm not saying what Ryan said, where they need to be like from the fair, where they look like they came from.
Is that an 80-pound chicken?
Leviathan and Asmodeus came from the briny deep with, the chicken leg of doom. Like,
Yeah. How big is that chicken? If it's this
I don't
big?
know. They had this thing, and this is a Patton Oswalt joke that I'm riffing off of, which was he does a joke about KFC created this thing called the mega leg. There was a chicken drum leg that was the size of a turkey leg. It was just like they invented it at some lab somewhere, but. They started just not having a whole lot of meat on them, I've noticed. And then most places, when they cook them, they hammer them so hard to get them cooked through that it's basically like eating Captain Crunch. You're just scraping the inside of your mouth trying to get the meat off of them.
Right.
Whereas with wings,
There's no meat.
break them apart. There's plenty of meat. It's
Plenty
right
of meat.
there.
Yep.
Yeah. You just have to know how to do it.
Plus, I don't want to live in a world that doesn't have chicken wings.
Neither do I.
So that's out.
They don't call them chicken drums.
Oh!
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a scorching hot take for you this week. Make sure you vote on this. I need everybody that's listening to this to go vote on it. Thank you, as always, for listening to The Quad with Chris Young. I am Chris from Haley the Bear, producer Josh, and Ryan from Miami. We love you guys. Thanks always for listening. We'll see you next week. And Ryan!
Anyone but Ryan. Anyone but Ryan.
He really needs breasts.
I love how we all just thought to do that.